furniture doesn't just stay in one spot.
It's not bolted to the ground.
Whoa. Yeah. I already hit record.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
How you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing it.
I'm
doing it.
Is that going to be it?
I don't fucking
This is Tommy.
This
is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another week of us talking to you. Yep.
Like how it flatlined. Week of talking to you.
I was also kind of waiting for you to kind of pick in there as well, but no, you were taking your shoes off.
Today we're going to be we're reviewing Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day, and also Groundhog Day was 2 days ago. We don't know actually exactly what the fucking groundhog saw for this year.
Not yet.
Do you even when you were a kid? Did you actually kind of follow that at all, or for whatever weird reason?
No, I think it
was
I
it.
I only knew of Groundhog Day as a kid because of the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, wasn't.
No, I knew of it because of school and whatnot. My mom was weirdly it's Groundhog Day. Let's see. Excuse me. Let's see what the groundhog saw.
Oh yeah, and if you don't know, Groundhog Day is if the groundhog comes out and sees its shadow, there's going to be 6 more weeks of winter.
Yeah, because he runs back in to hibernate.
Yeah, and then if
Punxsutawney Phil. I mean,
yeah, Punxsutawney Phil. If he doesn't see his shadow, that means it'll be an early spring. That's exactly the lore behind it.
I mean, actually, we should have. Oh fuck! I didn't do research on the history of what Groundhog Day actually was. You did?
Yeah.
Good. I don't know why that didn't even cross my mind.
I mean, that's it. That's kind of it though, and it just it came over.
Yeah, but why? Who the fuck? It was someone just dude, look at that fucking groundhog. Oh shit! Oh, he's going back to. Oh, we're gonna have more winter now, guys. We're gonna have more winter.
It's a German thing that was originally with badgers.
With badgers?
Yeah.
Good, it's going back in. We're not going to die.
But I think it's German, if I remember correctly. But it came over as a tradition.
Yeah,
and seeded itself into our culture. But
so is it actually from even the original 13 colonies type from the original ships that came over?
For Germanic immigrants that.
You didn't do enough research.
No, I did a quick little one.
No, sorry. I didn't mean that as a pointing. Was you didn't enough. I'm asking you too many questions.
I just read it real quick.
All right. Well, let's go into the movie. Really quick. We do want to do a quick content warning. This movie does does have moments of suicide in it, and it's in sense and light of humor. So if suicide is any type of a triggering thing for you, either maybe you don't want to listen to this episode, or I don't know where exactly I'm going else with that. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah,
we're putting out there that there is a long a 15-20 minute sequence that is making very light of suicide.
Yeah, and
if that is something that is triggering to you, then we suggest you probably skip this episode and this movie altogether.
Yeah, there we go.
So just a heads up.
And
let's get into it.
Yeah. All right, so Groundhog Day. It has an 8.0 on IMDb, a 97% tomato meter rating, and an 88 audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 72% Metacritic. So this movie's got a lot of weird, it's very well received.
Yeah, and it's also in the Congress Library, it's for its cultural significance and everything.
I didn't realize how much of an impact this movie actually had.
Yeah, it's I
just thought it was a goofy fucking Bill Murray movie. I saw 8.0 rating on IMDb. I'm like, what the fuck?
Early Bill Murray, this has a lot more substance to it than you'd expect.
No, 100%. And I guess I just never really noticed that when I was younger, but it 100% does.
Yeah,
You
especially
know.
for that, like, because Bill Murray got into more serious stuff later on. But this was released February 12th, 1993.
It was original premiered on 2 days, on 4th and the 5th, in February as well. So it premiered the weekend of Groundhog Day, and then had its actually kind of like very similar to what this weekend would be.
Yeah, actually
exactly what this weekend would be.
Yeah, exactly. We did the same thing. Interesting.
Cool. And box office wise, it was number 13 domestic and worldwide. This is the same year. We already did this one with Last Action Hero too. So like the same year of Jurassic Park and
Mrs. Doubtfire and The Fugitive. I had a budget of $14.6 million and grossed $71 million. So
yeah,
worldwide, it did pretty.
Very good.
It did pretty.
I really don't think this would actually do well overseas though, and maybe in Dutch countries.
Well, because it's like, yeah, I mean, it's a here in Canada holiday.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know, like, well, I'm sure. Yeah.
I mean, it's like, if anything, well, I mean, there is the remake of it, the Italian remake for the stork.
Yeah, and then I brought up the note. The weather lore was brought from German-speaking areas where the badger is the forecasting animal. And then now it's in Pennsylvania Dutch superstition.
Yeah.
So, yeah, unless you're, I guess, German. But even then, it's a badger. It's not. It's, what is it? It's
Badger,
Dutchess
mushroom.
Dutchess Day.
Dutchess Day.
So
Is that what, badger? Is that badger in
Dutchess, yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you got a synopsis for us?
Cynical weatherman gets stuck in small town for 30 years on time loop.
Estimating 30 years.
33 years and some odd days.
Everything that I've read, it's like some people have like done like what they could to make up an idea for it, but even like the writers, like it could be somewhere between 70 to 80. We really don't know.
Yeah, no, I just was whatculture.com, like broke it down and like did the math.
Oh yeah, like
The shit like that. So I'm just going with like, and it like, and also like even like what they said about it too is like, I think it was the director was like, it takes 10 years to be good at anything. So it's at least 30 years because he gets good at 3 different things.
Yeah,
he becomes like an expert in 3 different things.
Ice sculpting, French,
piano. So it's like, it's at least 30 years.
Yeah, well, French literature, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah, French poetry. Like, kind of uber.
That could take 30 years on its own.
I was going to say,
there.
that's like uber specific. Like, it's not just learning French, it's learning French poetry.
Yeah, all right. So let's go into who made this movie.
My boy. I really like him.
Harold Ramis?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, okay. So yeah, we'll go into like what he's done. So he's so he also wrote this movie too helped. He was a co-writer with it, with the writer. But he also he wrote and directed Caddyshack. Wrote and directed Analyze This and Analyze That,
Which are amazing.
Yeah, they're really funny.
Those are so funny.
And wrote and directed the flop Year One with Jack Black and Michael Cera.
Multiplicity.
He directed Multiplicity, directed National Lampoon's Vacation, directed Ghostbusters.
Which I actually didn't know that.
That he directed Ghostbusters?
Yeah, I didn't know. I know he's in it, but I didn't know, like...
I know. I thought he also helped with writing on it. Oh, wait, no, he didn't direct it. Sorry, that's a different note. He wrote... He's credited as a writer with Dan Aykroyd for Ghostbusters.
Oh, okay.
Ivan Reitman directed it, I think. So that's my bad. My correct. He did not direct Ghostbusters.
Oh, okay, cool. And then Bedazzled, and then a personal recommendation from his list, The Ice Harvest.
Yeah, that's one that you kind of bring up every now and then. Billy Bob Thornton and John Cusack.
Yeah, like if you're looking for like kind of like the ref.
Did he write that too?
Oh, I didn't look at that. If you're looking for like a really dark comedy Christmas movie heist thing, Ice Harvest is where you want to go.
And rest in peace, Harold Ramis as well. He passed away. What was 2014?
2014.
Which I'm really happy to hear. Like, there's a big story. Like, this movie had a big falling out between Ramis and Murray. Like, Bill Murray refused to even talk about Harold or bring him up. If anybody ever brought him up, he'd be like, I don't talk about him.
Mm-hmm.
And Harold was always like one. He's like, oh, well, I would love to be friends with him again,
Yeah.
And they were able to actually reconcile before Harold Ramis passed away.
I was reading on his deathbed, like Murray.
No shit.
Yeah, like Murray went and they buried the hatchet.
Wow, that's a very Bill Murray thing.
I guess.
There's just something that's like holding the. It's like, well, if he's gonna pass away, I need to.
I guess I should. Yeah. Almost begrudgingly.
Yeah. It's like
I take that back. I don't know how that happened. I wasn't there.
Were you just pulling that out there?
Yeah, I was just throwing that out there, and I was like, I feel bad about that. As soon as it came out, I was like, I feel guilty. Okay, moving on. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Tommy Lee Jones, he's gay.
No, he's not. I know him.
Dad. That was 100% that moment. All right, let's go into the writer of this. Well, Danny Rubin, who really, I mean, he had 2 other writing credits? Did you write them down? They didn't really.
Nothing. I usually just write down what pops out to me. Nothing really. I didn't. No.
So what I was reading about with Danny Rubin is that he wrote this. He wrote Groundhog Day, and I guess I'm trying to remember what I was reading. Is he kind of became difficult to work with because he always wanted to challenge Hollywood standards of writing and whatnot, and so he never really got another job. But he was taught writing or screenwriting at Harvard for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
So this movie kind of got him a job at Harvard.
Yeah,
and
he's a lecturer, right?
Yeah,
at Harvard. Yeah,
and he also helped create the Groundhog Day musical of 2017, Broadway musical.
I didn't know there's a musical.
It started in London, and then because Tim Minchin, which I'm drawing a blank on what else he's done. What was it? Anyway, they started it in London, and then it moved to Broadway, and it won a couple of Tonys, and yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I listened to some of the music of it last night, and it's really it's wonky. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. It follows a little bit more closely to the original story that Danny Rubin wrote too. So it's kind of like Danny Rubin's and I got my story out there.
Yeah, totally. I mean, yeah.
Do you have anything else about Danny Rubin?
No, because you want to talk about do you want to talk about the original story right now, or do you want to get into that in a little bit?
We can talk about that a little bit right now. I mean, there's not a lot of notes that I wrote with that. Let's go through the starring reviews, and then we can kind of bring that all down. Let's just get this out of the way.
Okay.
As we've already been saying, this movie is starring Bill freaking Murray.
And we talked about him before in our Scrooged episode.
And So, but I mean, Lost in Translation, Rushmore, Moonrise Kingdom, Life Aquatic, Larger Than Life.
What about Bob?
What about Bob? Baby Steps? Baby Steps to the Door.
I think I really like him then, and he has a really great. I think I brought it up before. He has a really great Christmas special.
Yes,
that's really awesome.
I don't know if I brought this up with Scrooge because when he brought up What About Bob, if we even brought up What About Bob, but
I'm sure I brought up What About Bob.
I just remembered that my drama teacher in high school, well, he was also an English teacher, but his go-to movie to play for class for just free day or whatever, we're gonna watch a movie today, because he was too hungover probably. Mm-hmm. He would put on What About Bob. That was his go-to movie for us to watch.
It's a weird movie to show a bunch of kids.
I know,
because that's also a kind of a dark comedy in a lot of ways. I wonder how that aged with mental health issues.
Oh man,
probably not great. Movie's funny though. I fucking hate that guy.
Who?
The doctor. What's his name?
Richard Dreyfuss?
Yeah, there's something I just always see him as a dick.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it is about him. I'm like, you're a dick.
The lead of Close Encounters of Third Kind. The marine biologist in Jaws?
I think it's because this is the first thing I ever think I saw.
That was the first thing you ever saw with him.
What About Bob?
What
so
about
just
Bob?
made that.
And Bob's making him go insane.
Yeah.
boundaries.
It's like he's mean. But yeah, so okay. Up next, we had Andy McDowell.
Yes, who probably most recognizable, really, from like St. Elmo's Fire,
Multiplicity. It's coming up so much.
She's in Michael with John Travolta.
Is that the fucking angel one?
Yeah. I was actually trying to think of like movies that I remember her being and that I've seen her in, and I swear to this is a Mandela effect on me. I swear to you, she was in Frighteners. Like she was the opposite in Frighteners with Michael J. Fox, and she's not.
Holy shit, you're doing it to me now. I'm like, who is that?
Look at it. You can look it up. It's like Trina something. She looks a lot like Andy McDowell, but I swear to you, it was Andy McDowell in Frighteners. Like I 100% thought it was.
That'd be a fun one to do.
Frighteners. Oh, 100%.
Frighteners, cool.
I would love to do Frighteners. That's actually it's a movie that I forget about a lot.
Yeah, Trini. Alvarado.
She does look like Andy McDowell, actually.
She doesn't actually that much, but when your brain, it's an easy like when you're looking at her, you're like, yeah, really, like they're pretty different looking. Well, I mean, but they're both dark hair.
Look at screenshot of her in Frighteners, though. Like that's more specific because, like, they definitely like, yeah. We're taking a long time on just this one thing for Andy McDowell.
Yeah, I guess so. I still am like, no, they look like I said, they're similar features, but it's like I see
it's like the brunette, the slim figure.
Yeah, I can see why. That's so funny. As soon as when you started saying it, I was like, is she in Frighteners?
Yeah, I know, dude. Until you last night, whenever I did these notes, I would have swore up and down that Andy McDowell was the female lead in Frighteners.
Weird. All right, well, she's not. Everyone, to clear that up, Andy McDowell is not in Frighteners. She's in.
What a weird segue for me. Just like, and let's talk about the movie she's not in.
Yeah, for real. And then up next, there's a lot of people in this, but like when it comes to the mains,
it's really just them two.
Oh, and then Chris Elliott.
Yeah, Chris. I mean, even still, like he's like still more supporting. I mean, he's definitely got the most out of the next. Yeah,
but I just brought him up too because he was in Something About Mary that we talked about. And then just some honorable mentions was Brian Doyle Murray, his dad, Bill Murray's dad.
No, that's his brother.
Brian Doyle Murray. No, that's his dad.
Really?
Yeah, he's the prognosticator. He's the.
I thought he was just his older brother because his brother's in it as well.
His brother's in it as well.
Yeah, his brother. His brother is the like not butler but like the guy that comes up to greet him when he's walking on the
Are you sure that's his brother?
Oh, no, it's not.
Yeah, I was like, that's not...
Never mind, that's not him. But I could have swore that Brian Doyle was 45. I looked up the Murray family tree, and I think I just got really confused.
Yeah, I'm like, no, this is... Oh, no, you're right. It is. It is
his older brother.
Oh, I thought it was his dad.
No, he plays his dad in Scrooge.
Is that what I'm doing?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was his dad. That was a crossing of... We're killing it right now. That was a crossing of wire. Okay.
Man, what is happening?
Brian Doyle Murray, Bill Murray's brother.
Oh, hey, quick, Michael Shannon's first movie.
Yeah, no, I saw that. That was cool. And then I saw him, and I was like, oh my God, he's such a baby.
Right? He's so young. Yeah, I think that's good for like casts, and whatnot. What do you got for reviews?
I wrote someone's name down, but I can't remember who they are. Okay, just like a little note on the side. I'm like, I don't know what that means. Let's see. Okay, so going to reviews on Metacritic. There are 11 positive, 3 mixed, 0 negative. Let's see. Here it is. Stanley Kaufman at the New Republic. Murray, more often than not, is pretty unbearable, but here, playing a man who is unbearable, Murray begins convincingly amusing and gets even more amusing as he metamorphoses.
Yeah.
Jonathan Rosenborn, reader, considering that none of the characters is fresh or interesting, it's a commendable achievement that the quality of storytelling alone keeps the movie watchable and likable. I kind of picked kind of more the negatives, like there was no negative one.
Yeah.
And then I went on, just real quick, it's kind of made me laugh. I went on the user reviews. That was the only negative one I could find. So this is a negative one from, should I say their tag?
Why? No, why not?
Okay, all right, I didn't want to. So this is one from someone named
Well, if it's a weird one, yeah, don't worry about it, but
so-called comedy starring Bill Murray, who's too old. He's a weather reporter. Actually, no one did this.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's like if they have that fucking tag name, like screw their goddamn review.
No, but it's because it's funny because I was like, man, this is a really long review, and I started reading it, and it's
repeating it.
Yeah, it's looping.
You got fucking trolled so hard.
How?
Because you just realized that it's just repeating itself. You thought it was a long review.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They just
literally repeat it.
You got rickrolled.
Yeah, I did, 100%. I was like, what does they have to say? Especially because it's starting off with being so negative. I was like, what are they? Oh, they got me.
That's what I'm saying. You just got trolled so hard.
And then it ends with, you see where I'm going? Like, it's pretty good. It got me.
That's hilarious. We're keeping that in. Yeah. I was thinking about writing a review for this one, but after like doing a bunch of research on it, I kind of felt weird writing one on it. Because of the way that like Danny Rubin like discovered writing this script, and then the amount of like already like everyone's like people have like in like just put like Buddhist ideas into it, and like all of these different like ideas. And I felt like there's already been so much like pressed into this idea that Danny Rubin was just like, I just had an idea of what would happen if the dude got stuck in a time loop.
Yeah, it's actually pretty crazy. Like if you do find yourself on their wiki page, it's like a lot of people put a lot of ideology and shit into this.
Which it kind of makes sense in a way, because like I was thinking about like if you were like with some friends, the concept of being stuck in a time loop is kind of like you're smoking pot with your friends, and you have that one friend that's like, hey man, what would you do if like you kept waking up and it was the same day over and over and over again, and like only you like knew it was happening to you? And then there'd be that one friend in the background, like all the people that like do these like that expanded, like there's like that one high friend that's just like, oh man, but then you got to think about like the mental ramifications of like living in that world for over and over and over again. What did that do to the human psyche, and like where they would go mentally and whatnot? Just becoming the hugest buzzkill to the conversation.
Well, yeah, if my friend said that to me, I'd be like, watch Groundhog Day. It covers it. And you should watch it right now because it's about to trip you out. You're going to have a bad time. You're not in the headspace. Honestly, I'd probably be like, oh yeah, there'd be people like, oh, should I watch it? Not right now. You shouldn't. You're going to have what's called an existential crisis. Crying
They're already
in the shower.
on the verge of one
exactly.
now.
And this is the pushing moment off into the deep end. Well, because also, like, I guess we can get into it now. The original premise from Danny was that, and it's kind of cool actually, was that you as the audience are jumping into watching this individual Phil as he's already been in the loop.
Yeah.
You don't see him start the loop. You just see that he's been living in the loop, doing the same thing over and over again.
I don't know if I would have liked that.
I think that it would work if you really leaned into I don't know, if it was like a very dark comedy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was originally. It's still a very dark comedy.
Yeah, but you could definitely push this a lot farther.
I think Danny Rubin's script originally was pushed a lot. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Well, I'm saying if you do that, it works.
Yeah.
You know,
I think it's just more of like, in kind of like what the studios and what Harold Ramis said is like in a narrative sense, like for it to really like to gather more like traction and whatnot, to see his response to be like going into it is more captivating. It keeps you invested more.
Yeah.
And also it's like seeing him like discover it in the loop is so interesting because it's bonkers. Like, could you? Literally, it's like being that stoned guy. You know, it's like imagine just waking up and it's like, didn't this already fucking happen? I feel like what's happening?
Well,
God, that was a really real dream, man. It felt so real.
In an alternate universe, Michael Keaton did decide to pick up this role, and they kept it with Danny's original plot. Michael Keaton would have been really good in this.
Yeah, he would have.
Nothing against Bill Murray, like he did great, like whatever. But Michael Keaton and his like comedic timing, and his kind of zany kind of.
Well, he only said no to it because he was like, well, this is everything that I would do as a character, but honestly, or as an actor, like, yeah, it's all like everything that I do. I play these type of characters, but I didn't understand the script.
And he like apparently regretted it. Like I think after seeing the product, I'm like, God, Michael Keaton would have been fucking great in this role. Like, I'm trying to tell you, like, you know, get in, out, over. Like, I think that would have been a really interesting film. Let's do one. Fuck it. Let's do another Groundhog Day. Michael Keaton. Let's go. Come on.
That older Michael Keaton?
Yeah. I don't get anything with Michael. I love Michael Keaton. I don't care.
Did you know they made there's a virtual reality video game that's a sequel to it where you play Phil's son who goes back to Punxsutawney and gets stuck in a time loop?
No.
Yeah.
Huh.
You look so uninterested but kind of like curious.
Yeah, curious. Uninterested yet curious, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sorry, and I was also just thinking about Michael Keaton and other guys. You know, man, don't go chasing waterfalls. You did it again. I don't know what you're talking about.
So there is one very specific moment or passage on Wikipedia that I thought was fucking hilarious that I wanted to bring up, and it's about how the studio was like forcing Ramis and Rubin to give a reason on how and why this time loop started, and Ramis and Rubin both were like like no, that's gonna ruin it. Like it was just like this just happened. Like it just like it's kind of like the magic of it is that he just has to, like, it just happens to him, and then he has to find out how to get out of it type thing. Like no rhyme or reason, which is kind of like the weird magic of this. It's like this just does happen to him for no fucking reason.
It happens to him because he's a miserable prick.
Yeah, it's kind of like there's a Scrooge thing to it, and a
Grinch Stole Christmas kind of redemption story.
But this is from Wikipedia. Is that the studio refused to green light the project without making explicit why Phil becomes trapped. Producer Albert described a Columbia executive saying, "Why does the day repeat? I like it, but I don't understand why he gets stuck in this loop." Rubin had conceived of several causes for the loop, including a jilted lover placing a curse on Phil and a mad scientist invention malfunctioning. Albert and Ramis worked with Rubin to appease the studio while agreeing to place the scenes too late in the shooting schedule to be filmed, and if forced to shoot it, to simply not put it into the film.
That's awesome.
Right? They're just like, yeah, well, they were just
sure, we'll do that. Whatever, Hank.
Yeah.
We'll get to it, I promise.
Oh, look, I just reading that just made me so happy. Just like,
that's really funny.
Like, fuck you, studio.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, that's a way to do it.
Right? We'll just not put it in.
Nah.
I feel like there was more I wanted to bring up with script and whatnot. Well, I did find a couple articles. Like there was one of them from a couple years ago. It's titled "How the Gypsy Curse Almost Ruined Groundhog Day," and it's like Danny and Rubin talking about how the studio wanted them to like force something into it and whatnot, and how he just kind of like refused. Also, like they took him a while to write this, but not a while. It's like I was reading. It was like 8 weeks of him. Like kind of like making notes and whatnot, 7 weeks of organizing it, and then it took him 1 week just to write the actual screenplay.
Yeah. Well, I was also reading somewhere, I don't remember where, but I was reading somewhere that he got some inspiration from Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah, no. So
playing around with the idea of immortality.
Yeah, he just kind of like thought about, like he was reading The Vampire Lestat. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he... this is what I read through Wikipedia as well.
Oh, okay.
Is that he was like while we're sitting there in a theater just like reading Vampire Lestat, he just kind of thought about the whole like idea of immortality and eternity and like the with a vampire, it's like, you know, they watched everybody's loved ones grow old and they pass away and whatnot. But he thought about it like, and he thought it was interesting, like this humanistic idea being put into these immortal beings.
That's only weird though, because those books kind of touch base on that.
Yeah, but
about
I think
getting bored.
Yeah,
with immortality.
But like I think it was like he thought that was kind of interesting and like was thinking about that more. But then he was like, well, what if it was just like one day? Like you were living, like he kind of like started like twist it and like into different
like
thoughts.
Time is almost frozen for a period.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And also the only reason it happens on Groundhog Day is because he opened up the calendar and the next closest like holiday was Groundhog Day.
So he's like, fuck it.
He was like, you know, he's like, and he thought it would work perfectly because like it's a national holiday, but it's kind of small. Like, people that really only know about it probably are more in Pennsylvania because there's the fucking Punxsutawney Phil Festival every year, you know? Mm-hmm. So he's like, this might be an interesting, which also, this movie, it brought Groundhog Day to more of a national spotlight. Like, everybody knows what Groundhog Day is now.
More
or
mainstream.
Less, yeah, more or less because of this movie. I feel like this movie is slowly starting to fade away into... obscurity, but you know, it's still it's like number 20 something on like AFI's best like comedy movies ever made, and it's
probably still number one Groundhog Day movie.
Yeah, because name another one.
Short list.
Cool story, bro.
Thanks.
So the festival in Punxsutawney that would happen was super small. It was just like for like locals and whatnot, everybody, you know, in Pennsylvania and whatnot. But after this movie, it grew to be like 35,000 people.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, migrate. Like, could you imagine being a worker or just one of like the people that live in Punxsutawney? They have this little diner, you know, and it's like they're expecting like maybe like a pop of like 50 people and whatnot. And then this movie comes out, and then all of a sudden, the streets are filled with people. Do you know how much that could like really fuck an economic system of a small town?
Or it could really help.
No, well, but the first year, no, it would definitely help. But like that first year, they wouldn't be prepared for it.
Oh yeah, that's fair. It's a fucking
like the chaos of that first year.
No man's land.
Yeah, just like, where's the food?
Seriously, that's a good point.
You know, it's like, yeah, it's like.
I wonder if it also happened like with any like what, you know, Blair Witch or.
Oh, dude, the people that live around the area for Blair Witch, they fucking hate that movie
because of that.
Yeah, because it brings all the fucking weirdos out,
especially Blair Witch.
Yeah, there's like these like just imagine these like gothic teenagers like, oh, where's my Blair Witch?
Or yeah, at least this is like a bunch of people trying to see a cute little rodent.
Yeah, exactly. You know, a bunch of people trying to raise the devil.
Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair. What about no, because that's not in a specific town. I was like, what about the Mothman? Well, there is the Mothman Festival.
Yeah.
Which I want to go to really bad.
God,
yeah, for all you that don't know out there is something called the Mothman Festival, and I want to go.
Yeah, it's fucking... Wait, that's in I
don't remember.
Well, where's Fallout 76, that place? Do you remember?
No. I don't remember really anything.
In the backwoods of Georgia? Yeah, Georgia. It's on Georgia, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Anyway,
we got the game when it came out, then we barely touched it after that.
That'd be fun to get back into.
I know you keep saying that.
I know.
Scratching my ear.
Oh yeah. So also, apparently the town of Punxsutawney was really upset that they didn't film the movie in Punxsutawney.
Yeah.
Even though like Ramis tried to and wanted to, but the town itself couldn't accommodate for the crew, like the camera, like all of the cast and crew and whatnot. They just didn't have enough like hotels and stuff. And like the closest city was Pittsburgh, which was like an hour or two drive out from Punxsutawney. So they're like, this isn't gonna work.
Yeah. So
they had to film some like outside of Chicago, and Ramis loves filming in Chicago. Excuse me. He grew up in Chicago, so
okay.
It's weird to think about the like Chicago in the 80s and like early 90s, because if you think John Hughes, huge Chicago guy, Harold Ramis, huge Chicago guy. I know like a lot of like the 80s Saturday Night alum started at the Chicago improv theater.
We kind of had this conversation back in the day. I think when we did Adventures in Babysitting.
Possibly, yeah.
Was that in Chicago?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We had it because in that I read a review about something along those lines where right now is the teenage
Oh yeah,
Hollywood is basically everyone's
yeah.
in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was just like some kind of almost like a weird cultural phenomenon where everybody who was anybody was coming out of Chicago.
Yeah, exactly.
Or filming in Chicago.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And this is kind of like the tail end of that.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, yeah. Because this is what we
93?
93. Yeah, this is the tail end of that.
Interesting. We made that discovery on live right here with everybody. You want to get into the movie? I got my my plot points. Quick, they're very short this time.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It's gonna. Oh, I guess it's okay. Yeah, go ahead. Knock it off. Or knock it out. I don't know.
All right. So, Phil, the arrogant weatherman. Rita, the sweet, optimistic new producer. Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day. The 7 stages of grief. Gets it right the next day, finally.
Forever. Forever. I just rewatched that.
Sandlot.
Still
It's
really
so
good. It's still really good.
Have you ever seen the sequel?
I think I have.
It came out like 2000 something.
Yeah, something I remember. That's one of those like holes. It's still really
It's
good.
like the sequel is like might as well just they remade it pretty much. It's a reboot.
One of those.
Yeah.
Straight to DVD.
Like Sandlot or not Sandlot. We're just talking, The Big Green. Remember the soccer movie?
No.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah. So that's pretty much everything. Thanks for listening.
Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day.
So yeah, you meet this arrogant weatherman named Phil.
Who was purposely named Phil?
You meet this arrogant weatherman named Phil.
All right, we need to limit our looping jokes for this.
I'm done. Unless one is like blaring in my face, then I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna read. That was a reach.
It's just quick introduction.
I thought you were gonna say it again like that. That's when you should have said it again.
I was getting ready to.
Oh well.
A quick introduction of an arrogant weatherman. Named Phil. And it's like
really not that funny.
God damn it, dude! I can't focus right now.
It's really not that funny. Why is it so funny?
We're so stupid.
I know. Okay, get it together.
This arrogant weatherman named Phil. He's getting like
he has to go
he has to go for Groundhog Day.
He has to go to this town for Groundhog Day to do a story on it. He's been doing it for years and years and years, for like 4 years. This will be his 4th year, and he hates it. He thinks it's podunky and stupid, and he just really hates it. And it just they really drive in that he's a prick.
Yeah, and also he's talking about like, oh, my last year doing this. I'm going to a big studio next or soon.
Big network.
I'm getting the big network job. And a lot of things where it's like actually a really good setup of like he's looking for the future. He's looking towards to something new, you know, like there's all of this setup to where like when the repeat happens for him, how really like detrimental it is to him. You know what I mean? Detrimental is the right word, but
yeah, I get what you mean though.
Yeah. Like Chris Elliott, who what's his character's name? I can't remember.
Larry.
Yeah, thank you, Larry.
It's really helpful when I watch it.
He introduces Phil to their new producer, played by Annie McDowell, named Rita. And she's actually got kind of a cute introduction. Is like she's like standing in front of the blue screen when she's wearing a blue jacket, and she's like looking at the screen, just watching her head and her hands just kind of float.
Yeah, she's like cute. Is like what they're trying to like.
Yeah.
Kind of. She's fun.
Yeah.
'Cause she's the polar opposite to our Phil.
Exactly.
She's loosey-goosey and like, you know, she thinks the groundhog tradition is really cute, and she like she gets in like basically this is a perfect like thing. She's describing that she thinks it's cute, and then he and she just likes it because people like it, and it brings them joy, and she's happy that there's something to bring them joy. And then Bill Murray's like, yeah, well, people are morons. They like blood sausage too, and you're like, that is just like the perfect example of what their personalities are.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Well, people are morons. I'm like,
can you do the little groundhog thing again?
Can you look at yourself when you do that face? He's just like a prick, basically.
And yeah, they get into Punxsutawney and they set everything up, and then he's staying at his own place because she knows that he doesn't want to stay at whatever fucking Fleabag hotel that they're staying at, which actually looks like a nice hotel. Yeah.
Like it looked fine.
And also they spend like he ends up like having drinks with her there through most of the goddamn shit.
That's true. Yeah, that is true.
I'm trying to think. I guess like the next big thing is like he wakes up on Groundhog Day, 6 o'clock.
Put your little hand in mine.
I got you, babe. Apparently, they chose that song specifically because of how repetitive it is.
Yeah.
It's like the song.
I got you, babe. So he wakes up at 6 o'clock. This is important.
6 o'clock.
He wakes up at 6 o'clock and then goes and does his...
The morning routine. We get a morning routine from him. He wakes up. He goes out. He gets greeted by this dude. And then he goes down and has a very annoying conversation that's annoying to him from like the waitress of the place.
Yeah.
And runs into
an old high school friend.
What's his name again? Ned, yeah. Phil? Is that...
Dude, he's so fucking annoying.
Stephen Lebowski, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's the name.
Oh, Lebowski?
Yeah, that was the name.
Oh, yeah, Stephen Lebowski.
Yeah, I was like, I don't remember who that is.
Oh, God, what... He's recognizable in so many things.
Spaceballs.
Yep.
But he has a bit part in that kind of. Freaky Friday is what I think of. He's the teacher that's being a dick to Lindsay Lohan because. Jamie, what's her name?
Jamie Lee Curtis?
Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis like rejected him in high school, so he's like taking it out on her daughter.
That's weird.
Yeah, right. That's a weird plot point for that movie.
Yeah,
and it's not until they switch that she realized.
I've never seen that one actually. Now that I think about it,
you never seen Freaky Friday?
I've seen the original.
You never saw the Lindsay Lohan? Mm-mm. Oh, you should. It's fun. They're fun together.
Huh.
Like, and then oh god, and her being a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
She like
Oh, like yeah.
The mom, but Jamie Lee being a teenager is fucking hilarious. She like looks in the mirror. I'm old. Oh. I beg your pardon. Oh my god, I'm like the crypt keeper.
I remember seeing that scene. Yeah,
she's really funny in that.
Okay. It's about Stephen Lebowski.
Sorry, annoying guy that's like trying to sell him like insurance and
he's a life insurance.
But he doesn't get a hint.
Oh my god! Do you think they actually? No, they didn't actually go to high school together. I think. Oh no, he was very, very, very descriptive. Never mind. I just kind of thought it was like he's a life insurance salesman. This is like tries like, hey, remember me, buddy?
Oh, like he did with Nancy? No. He had like intimate detail.
Yeah, I was like, oh wait, no, that's. I was like, he dated his sister. Maybe
that was the deal. Like maybe that was the original idea. Because he bombards him with a bunch of information, like he does with Nancy later.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. But the only flaw with that is the whole sister thing.
Mm-hmm. No, but then also like later on, he's like, "Hey, Ned," and like, yeah. You know, Ned's a genuinely annoyingly good guy.
Yeah, I like that idea though. That's interesting.
Because that's what he uses on Nancy.
Yeah.
So we get Ned and we get that whole thing and him walking into the puddle, which I feel that's kind of an iconic scene for Groundhog Day because of the repetition of that.
There's a plaque there now
really?
that says Bill Murray stepped here.
Oh, that's cool.
I was reading. Kind of like for us at Pike's Market, that restaurant they go to in Sleepless in Seattle.
Oh,
there's a plaque at that bar that says Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan sat here.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that actually. Yeah. Okay. So then he goes and he reports for.
I've heard.
Jesus Christ!
I've never been in there. It's always too busy. I know where it is though. been outside of it.
Tell me about Tommy Lee Jones again.
And I've never seen Sleepless in Seattle.
I've never seen it either, actually. Actually, what's really funny is that you said Sleepless in Seattle, and my mind immediately went to
Got Mail. Oh, sorry.
no, when Harry met Sally.
Oh, that's fair. Who's in that again?
Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan.
Oh, okay. And then who's in You Got Mail?
Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. And Sleepless in Seattle's Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. Why am I having such a hard time saying Ryan?
Oh, God, those are all really interchangeable in my head.
Right?
Oh, it helps I didn't see like two of them.
Well, You've Got Mail and Sleepless in Seattle are pretty much the same story.
Really?
Yeah, more or less.
Oh, okay.
Sleepless in Seattle, they're writing letters. You've Got Mail, they're writing emails.
Oh, okay. Where were we? What were we talking about? No, for real though.
All right, so an arrogant weatherman
stepped in the puddle, and then I brought.
He's reporting on the actual like.
I derailed us with the plaque.
Yeah. He's reporting on the actual like showing of the groundhog. Phil, why am I holding? This
is all a simulation.
And he's just being an asshole, making fun of like the groundhog.
Yeah, it's just like he's like in the review I read too. He's just he's a miserable, unbearable person. Like,
yeah,
he's a energy vampire.
Yeah,
he just sucks all the fun out of everything, and he's just a sarcastic douche.
So like after reporting and whatnot, Andy or Rita is kind of like, well, we're gonna go and like there's gonna be the festival and we're gonna have some drinks if you want to join. And he's like, I would. Oh no, he wants to leave.
Yeah, he wants to get back to Pittsburgh.
He wants to get back because he didn't want to stay the night. So, that's right. Because the blizzard that he was reporting on that's supposed to blow on by is actually hitting right outside of town.
So they get like stuck in town, which is also kind of cool too, because it's like
his own misfortune. Yeah.
Well, it's like a PUBG kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where it creates like once this loop starts, he can't leave this town.
Yeah.
It's a natural barrier. So even if he was like, well, fuck it, maybe if I in my loop get in a car and drive out of here, maybe that'll break. He doesn't have that option.
The blizzard was the magic.
Yeah.
He's stuck in a snow globe.
Yeah. Oh, weird. That's a weird concept. Yeah. Zooms out and Rosebud.
That was good.
That was good.
That was really good.
That was good. That was fucking meta.
So he's like they can't leave because of the blizzard. And I like either turn back and go back to the town, or turn back and die in the blizzard, or keep going and die in the blizzard.
I'm thinking.
And
it's like in this movie too, just like to kind of point out
Bill
to people,
Murray's comedic timing is just on point.
Yeah, he's just really Bill Murray in this. Mm-hmm. And it says a lot about my personality that when I watch these kind of movies like this, Scrooged, or How I Met the Grinch, or any of these kind of like redemption kind of things, I like them better when they're assholes. I started to check out when they start getting nice.
Oh, like towards the end?
Yeah, I'm like, you're funnier as a dick.
And Bill Murray kind of keeps that sarcasm even as he's like becoming nice though.
Yeah, actively getting older.
What?
Something I want to bring it up, but it fits better later on in the conversation.
Oh, okay. Okay, so the blizzard, they turn back around and he decides just like, well, I'm just gonna go take a shower or whatever in where I'm staying and whatnot, and we'll figure this out. And then he goes to sleep and he wakes up.
Put your little hand in mine.
And he wakes up and goes, what's happening? Oh, that's weird. Looks out. Everyone's going somewhere. I was like, what? That's weird. Goes through the day. He relives the day.
Yeah, like kind of teetering on like a mental episode.
Yeah, but it's
because it's like and it's like well written too, because it's like if that were to happen to you, you probably would kind of be like, you'd just be confused.
Yeah,
you wouldn't be. I don't think you'd be scared. You wouldn't be upset. You'd just be really confused, because even in your head, you'd be like, was that all a dream?
Yeah, exactly. It's like what kind of? Have you ever heard of deja vu?
I think you'd like try and rationalize it.
Yeah.
At first.
No, exactly. 100% try to
Yeah.
rationalize it. I think that's actually. Oh, where is it? Like, yeah, it's like okay. So in the 7 stages of grief, like the first is shock and denial. So like he's denying it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
He's like, no.
Like it's not possible.
Yeah, not possible. Not possible. And yeah, and then he goes through the day again. He sees Ned, and he's like, "Oh, what?" He steps in the puddle again, and reports again. Oh yeah, it's Groundhog Day again.
Or when he talks about it's still once a year, right? Like,
and then he goes back to sleep, goes back to his room, goes to bed, wakes up, and put your hand in mine.
I got you, babe.
And he's like, no.
Now is when the freak out happens.
Yeah, when this is like he goes to a doctor, he goes to a psychiatrist.
Well, because he like in crazy person fashion, which is like in these movies, you're always like, I don't know how you would explain this to anyone.
No, exactly. It's like he refuses to do like the report.
He tries to tell Rita that he's done this already. This is his third day doing the same thing. And then he goes and gets a doctor appointment to get his head scanned by Harold. Mm-hmm. There's a little cameo in it. And real quick, if you don't know who Harold Ramis is, he's
Egon in Ghostbusters.
Put a face to the name. But yeah, so goes and gets a CAT scan, and then also goes and gets an appointment with a psychiatrist.
Yeah,
which I'm like, how did you do that same day? I don't know about y'all's experience with the medical field. You got to jump through some loops to get these appointments,
especially on like a big festival day for this.
Yeah, you know? I was like, that was kind of weird note for me.
Yeah, eat the carrot. Yeah.
Eat the carrot.
But I do like that scene with the psychiatrist, because the psychiatrist is very like young and like
doesn't really know.
Yeah, and it's like, I finally have an alcoholic. Like he says, it's just like Bill Murray's like.
Or like at the end of that whole scene being like, how does tomorrow work for you? And he just glares at him. He's like, not great. Okay. Like, makes it like, yeah, dude. Like he's like, even if like, let's just say like if this magic isn't happening and it is someone having like a psychotic break.
Yeah.
They're telling you there is no tomorrow. Don't offer tomorrow.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Don't feed into the illusion, but also you need to kind of like coax them out of it.
So essentially he kind of like he goes back to bed and kind of hoping it.
This is weirdly kind of a hard movie to talk about because of the repetition factor.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Like what happens next exactly?
Does he kidnap Phil this time?
No, that's way later. That's like an hour into it.
Okay.
I made a timestamp of that because that's when the suicide stuff starts happening.
Oh, that's when it all starts repeating.
Is in like an hour into it.
So yeah, I'm trying to think like, because I don't think it's this same day. I think it's the next day.
Is that when he's at the diner eating all the food?
Yeah, and
that's almost an acceptance phase, but that's not kind of early.
It's an early acceptance. It's still kind of denial. So like the 7 stages of grief that I have in front of me: shock and denial, pain and guilt, anger and bargaining, depression, loneliness and reflection, upward turn, reconstruction, and then acceptance and hope.
So he kind of does go through all those, but he does them in a weird order.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this whole like acceptance thing, I think it's still kind of like denial. And like,
well, because then he goes.
He works up to get Nancy into bed pretty much.
Yeah, and like I'm just gonna point out too, I really started checking out for a bit on this whole like Nancy thing, and even getting into Rita, like him like using.
It's super manipulative.
Yeah, it was just kind of like, I'm like, is this movie gonna like pick back up and get like interesting again? Because I'm like, I don't honestly, and it's Bill Murray. I don't really want to see him spit in his game. Like, I'm not really interested in this right now.
So we saw this in Scrooged already.
Yeah, so like he sees this attractive woman and like goes up to her and asks her what her name is, what high school she went to, and what her 12th grade English teacher was. Goes back through the loop and then uses this information to get her into bed.
Yeah.
All the while they're making out and stuff, he's moaning Rita. So,
which is also weird. It's like, at what point did he start falling in love with Rita?
Yeah, that was also kind of like, okay, like it never was kind of implied that there was.
There's one moment, it's really right at the very beginning, and that's when she's like on the blue screen thing. He looks over at her, and there's this moment of like, huh, that's kind of cute, but he's not going to let.
Yeah.
It's like. That's the only
Frank Cross doesn't fall in love.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so
put your little hand in mine.
Yeah, so
We're gonna lose.
Oh no,
listeners.
this is when he starts like testing it out more and more. Like he does the broken pencil. I guess maybe that's night 2 or night 3.
Yeah, it is the broken pencil, and apparently there's a lot of different like ideas they had on what he was gonna do. Like they spit around. There's like takes actually of, like him having like a mohawk, like shaving his head, and then waking up and his hair's all
yeah,
back.
he takes a girl on a date and he's dressed up as a cowboy.
He's dressed up as Clint Eastwood.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, as Clint Eastwood, and she's dressed up as a French maid, and he's acting like Clint Eastwood.
He's got the cigar and everything. So basically,
He
like,
kind of goes through like a weird, just like
he goes through like a no consequences
this
phase.
is kind of like bargaining. Like, what can I do?
Yeah, like he comes to the realization that there is no consequences for his actions, so he starts like stealing from armored trucks.
That's how he discovers it. I forgot that he's drinking with the 2 townies at the bowling alley.
Oh yeah, the guy from the Burbs.
Yeah. I didn't get his name. But yeah, because he's he's drinking with the townies, and he's like, as he's talking with them, he's like, if you.
It's your stoner conversation, but drunk.
Yeah, exactly.
And
then he like he like plays chicken with a train, and
he's like driving away from the cops.
Yeah.
Like gets arrested, gets put in jail, and then
wakes up and
put your little hand in mine. And he's like, and that's when he realizes, like, holy shit, I can
do it. And
I can
that's
do
when
anything.
That's when he's eating everything at the diner. Then he, meets up with Nancy. Okay. So then he starts using all of this to get with Rita.
Yeah, and he's like, and like to like point out too, like, like one of the things is he goes and he like not robs, he just walks up to an armored truck because he knows the timing of it perfectly. That was a cool scene.
Yeah.
And he knows the timing of it perfectly, where he can just walk up when they're not looking, grab a bag of money, and then the next scene is him rolling up in that brand new Mercedes.
Yep. Oh, and that's when he's dressed up as
head
Clint
to toe
Eastwood.
in Clint Eastwood to go see a Clint Eastwood movie with some girl that I don't.
Another girl that he probably spent some time to get to,
Yeah, she was
manipulate into dressing up as a French maid. I thought it was a costume party.
That was a random.
Yeah, that's a really random scene.
Yeah,
there's a couple of really random scenes in this movie where I'm like, this actually kind of pulls away from it.
Well, but you also have to remember too, as the audience, you don't know this whole thing that's random to us. He could have been thinking about that for 5 years.
No, exactly. Like it was just complete boredom, kicking.
You start getting really creative, I'm sure, with the time loop.
So yeah, he spends time trying to get Rita to fall in love with him and like learning about Rita, and it's interesting. Is like he spends all this time because he's trying to learn things about Rita to use for his advantage, not to just like get to know her as a person. And when he finally has like this moment of where she's rejecting him time and time and time and time.
Well,
and
yeah,
time
they have
again.
like this. They have this like perfect date, and from dialogue you can tell. Number one, he's collecting information still, and like key points, but he also already knows a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So he's obviously done this. This perfect date we're seeing is attempt number blank. Like we don't know what number it is. This is the first time we're just seeing it, but it kind of goes into an interesting kind of like the time machine.
Yeah.
Loop where it's like, because he's using this in a selfish way, the outcome is always going to be the same of him being rejected because he's doing it in a selfish way.
And I think there's also a part of him that wonders like I don't even think he's thinking about like how to get out of the time loop, but I think there is something where he feels like maybe if I get, because Rita's the only girl that he can't get with, and he thinks that's
so weird.
Yeah.
Well, because also I think I was going to say, I think the thing that is, she has a sense of deja vu. She says that.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
It's when they're in the fudge shop, and she says, "Oh God, I hate white chocolate." And he's like, "White chocolate, got it." And she just stops him. And she goes, "Do you ever get that feeling of like deja vu?" So there's like something like it kind of to me it implied that she's kind of subconsciously aware of they've done this before kind of thing.
So yeah, after he gets like rejected a bunch of times, this is when like his like depression and loneliness.
Well, first it's full psychotic break, and he decides that the aggressor of his predicament is Phil, the groundhog.
Oh yeah.
And decides to murder Phil in a fireball. And
I like how he's like letting the groundhog drive.
He's like, not bad for a marsupial or whatever the fuck he says.
For a quadruped.
For a quadruped, yeah. So he kidnaps Phil in a truck and then takes off, and a bunch of the town people are like, and cop is chasing him, trying to get it. He gets into a rock quarry and then turns around and
just drives off the ledge.
Drives off, and like the car smashes, And then Larry's like, he might be okay. And then explosion. So he's like, and then I thought it was so fucked up. Then Larry just keeps filming.
I know. I thought the same thing.
That's a camera guy for you. Like,
yeah, right? He's like, gotta get the story.
Gotta get the story.
And then,
Whoa.
what?
I just had a weird thought.
What?
All these days are different parallel universes that just one of the Phils is living through. So they all those, once he pops back into the next one, those other timelines are still going.
Oh.
That just hurt my head. Anyways.
There's an episode of Rick and Morty that does that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
So then this causes, because now he's kind of realizing that he is, even though he's not alone, he is alone in experience.
Yeah.
So he does go down this depression
rabbit hole.
and
We only see him kill himself like 2 or 3 times, though, right?
bus, toaster,
Oh, I forgot about the bus.
tower.
So the tower one, there's actually a moment where that it took me out really hardcore, and it's because of what you just said. He passes away. These timelines still keep going. When they're in the morgue, he's passed away,
And it shows him. That's what I was just thinking about too.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, so these timelines actually continue on.
and it's like I'm sitting there. I'm like, if we're following from his perspective, like 100%, this movie is supposed to be from Phil's perspective. We should not be seeing this continuation of timeline.
Or maybe
it was
it's like the one, and the less of them there are, the more powerful he gets.
There can only be one Phil.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's.
What if God, we should try and make this like connected to like the
Highlander?
Highlander lore?
God, no. What is it that pulls him out of the Oh, that's right. Because then we get to the scene where he's talking with Rita, and he's like, "I'm God."
Yeah. Then he has like this like
I'm like, I'm not the God. I'm not. I'm a God.
yeah, and then he like proves it to her by just having information. Basically, information
Yep.
is power.
Yeah.
And he even says that too. I thought that was kind of a funny, like an interesting line. It's like maybe God isn't omniscient. Maybe he's just around all the time and just learns about everyone.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's an interesting idea.
This is upward turn in the times of grief.
Okay.
He's God.
Well, and that's
or reflection.
Oh, and I guess this I can jump back in with like my note that I comment earlier is that what's kind of interesting, especially because this is, let's just for argument's sake, let's say this is 30 plus years that this has happened. He ages like mentally, like
yeah.
the way he like even the way he speaks is way more like not soft spoken, but it's less like his edges got kind of rounded out.
Yeah,
and when he's explaining this whole like situation to Rita. He's very calm about it.
Yeah.
He's very like accepted.
It's very much, he's like, this is just what my life is now.
Yeah. Like he's just like, this is just what it is. And he's explaining it to her and they actually have this like really nice moment and it's kind of convincing her. Mm-hmm. And then
he does convince her, like the entire thing with the diner and like every moment.
Yeah. And then they are like staying, like, she's like, I'll watch you basically. Mm-hmm. And they're like, hanging out and
then midnight happens and she's like, you're still here, and he's like, and it happens at 6 and
she's like, you misled me. He's like, I never said midnight.
Yep.
She's like, I was waiting for midnight. He wakes up again,
she's not there,
but then this is a cool turning point because now this is when he starts using his power for good.
Yeah.
First he's used it for self-improvement, actual self-improvement, not just learning French to impress the girl, but
yeah,
I want to learn piano. I want to read these books. I want to do, like he
learns ice sculpting. And
he just starts
learning
himself.
like what's happening around the town and helping people.
Yeah, he starts like, the kid falling out of the tree. He goes to catch the kid. He helps the old ladies fix their tire.
Yep.
Like
the old man.
And then this is like, I think this is the key turning point is that throughout the movie, you keep seeing this old homeless guy. And slowly, as the years go by, Phil starts taking care of him. First, it's just like giving him money. And then it's like getting him food and so on and so forth. But then the old man inherently is going to die today.
Well, that's the one day that he gives him money and he sees the old man outside. And that's when he's like, well, now he's going to spend the day with the old man and try to save him. So he learns that there are certain things that are out of his control.
And then he just, I think I might have looked down to like read something at this moment. How does that end?
What do you mean?
Like his acceptance of the old man just... what's the moment that he's like, all right...
In the alleyway and he can't...
resuscitate him?
And he can't
Is that the moment?
Him?
It's like he has a realization.
It made me cry a little bit.
yeah, it was really sad. It was sweet and sad at the same
Yeah.
time. So this is like, this is like the turning point where not only has Phil accepted that this is just his universe now, but he also uses the time to actually try and help people and become part of the community.
Yeah. And he's become he actually is he's genuinely a good guy with everybody. He genuinely loves everyone there now.
He's actually, he's grown into a very sweet
it's like,
guy.
if anything, it's like, well, if I'm going to be stuck here forever, I might as well
Help people.
And, the more I give to them, the more I get back from them in happiness.
Yeah.
And like, that is a better feeling than just being, depressed all the time.
Yeah.
And yeah. So then we wake up to essentially his final day, where he wakes up, he goes and does the report, and then Rita's like, well, should we go? And he's like, no, I got some errands to run. And she's like, I thought you were leaving today. He's like, no, there's the blizzard's coming and we're not gonna be able to, like, he just like knows, and she's confused and whatnot, and she's like, errands? What kind of errands? And he spends the day going through helping everybody that he can. And this is then like, it kind of has Rita starts to fall in love with him a little bit just because of how genuine he is with the entire town.
Yeah.
Like,
and she sees it at the end of the festival, like Groundhog Day party.
Yeah, it's their festival.
It's like the wrap up, the final dinner, and everything.
The drinks, the party, the dance, the auctioning off of the man.
But like, she sees everyone coming up to him and like thanking him for the good deeds.
She goes into there and he's fucking playing piano, just jazz piano, and sees her. Oh, and then like nice, sweet, music and whatnot. Like, she's his muse for it.
Well, yeah, and it's also like she made it like clear early on in the movie that she wanted to date a man to play an instrument, but like what kind of maybe a key to breaking the curse is he learned piano for himself.
Yeah,
it wasn't like a ploy to get her.
Yep.
So,
and she like the town's like he's the town's number one hot bachelor, pretty much. Being there for a fucking day has made that much of an impression on everybody.
Yeah, small
like,
town.
Like his speech at the report, and Larry comes up like, Phil, you touch me.
Yeah. Remember when he punches Ned? That made me laugh really hard.
Oh yeah,
just clocks him. Oh no, the hug.
Oh, I missed you.
Oh, that was good.
I think I gotta go.
Yeah, so just I guess just to wrap it up, he has this like night with by the end of it has a night with Rita, and
it's genuine,
and it has like, and it's like, again, into that older thing, the way he's like talking to her and about her. It's like he does really know her. What's
actually kind of magical is like it's a day that he feels like he's perfected. He's like, this is the day I want to relive for the rest of my life. If I'm gonna relive this every single day, this is the day that I want to have.
Mm-hmm.
And then the cycle's broken.
Well, no. Well, so they have this day. They go back to. They go back to.
Did he buy that house? Is that a thing? Did he? Does he still steal the money every morning? Or no, it's a different. Never mind.
But like they go to sleep, and then it cuts to him like the same way he does every day. I got you, babe, and he opens his eyes, and you're like, oh shit, like you really thought that was it. You thought that was the one, and then someone's arm comes and lands on his chest.
Well, you hear also the radio people, like the song starts when I was like, turn that off. We're not playing that again. He's like, but it's a good song. And then that's the confusion. And then
she snaps it like snooze button. It's too early.
Yeah.
And he's in disbelief. He like pinches her. He like gets up. He runs out the window. They're gone.
It's a Scrooge moment.
Yeah. And then they...
What day is it, young child? It's Christmas, sir.
The biggest goose in all of London. But yeah, and then that's kind of like the cycle's broken, and him and Rita are...
And he's like, maybe we should move here. I like this little town.
Like they're going to live happily ever after.
Bum, 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 I got you, baby. Bum, bum, bum. What?
I was just thinking though, it's like if he moves to that town, he can't do any of those like all the stuff that made him popular just by the knowledge of it. Like the magic of Phil will kind of be done. Because he doesn't know everything, you know.
But he knows everything.
No, but like, that helped the old ladies fix their car and catching the kid. And I mean, all the stuff that made him popular.
Oh, he can't recreate that.
Yeah.
I see.
He can't recreate that magic that made him so popular.
And he'd be like, that was just my perfect day.
My perfect day.
Apparently, the original Danny Rubin script was Rita wakes up and she's now stuck in a loop. Like,
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, there is that Amazon movie with the two teenagers that are both like stuck in the same loop. Did you ever watch it? I can't remember what it's called. It's like an Amazon Prime original.
There's the Hulu one with Andy Samberg and Kristen Melody.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Palm Springs.
No.
Okay. No, that one's actually really good because that one actually starts with Andy Samberg is already in the time loop, and
Andy Samberg, who's that again? I'm blanking.
Lonely Island, SNL, Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh,
He's Jake Peralta in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I love you, man. The gay brother.
Yeah, there you go.
Right,
Dick in a box.
I'm on a boat.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Got it. He just went through his whole list.
I fucking love Andy Samberg.
We kept them too long. Let's wrap it up. What?
Oh yeah. So yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Where do you put it?
I was going really back and forth. I was going and like really feeling like a wet mogwai because of the whole creepy manipulation thing that he was doing with the women. I didn't like.
I mean, that is weird and gross, and I think that's just more of a product of its time, really. But also, at a certain point, it's like if you're living in a world of no ramifications,
that was
anybody's gonna start doing some weird shit. Like how many times do you think you want to actually like killing spree that they just didn't fucking show?
That's what I'm thinking of, like a dark comedy. I'm thinking like that, like this, that kind of shit.
I mean, they cover. You need to watch Palm Springs. I think you.
Oh, they do. They cover that.
Yeah.
Really interesting. Okay. Is it bad? You piqued my interest with that. No. So it was that, but then the redemption arc is solid enough that I'm like just a mogwai. This is like I think.
Yeah. No. It's a straight up solid mogwai.
Yeah. It's really good. I don't think it's like Gizmo.
No.
We still really need to make this post explaining this.
Yep.
Mogwai mean good. But yeah, no, it's like, I don't know. There's just like so many things too. It's like, well, because even then, like people at bars manipulate, like it's kind of like
people in real life just constantly manipulate,
so it's kind of like, and I think it's just creepy because it is like this magical power almost. But yeah, once he got past all that and once he gets into the, like, I like the beginning because he's just like a dick and like him trying to like figure out the loop is fun. The middle is where it started kind of losing me, and then it got me right back at the end, which is like I think the most important. Like,
yeah, it definitely. I kind of like checked out a little bit through like the manipulation part, but yeah, it's like when he starts like the old man thing really kind of got me back into it.
I think what got me was the fact that I liked that it wasn't working.
Yeah,
his manipulation wasn't working, and that's like what the cosmic universe power, whatever the situation is, and it was trying to tell him.
Yeah.
Like you're not doing something right because it's not working, because she kept like seeing through it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, okay, that kind of like fixed that. Like
it's because he's he's trying to manipulate her. Like he's actually like working at something as opposed to just being
genuine,
being a genuine person.
Yeah.
And that's why she sees through that, because like the entire time you can feel like she's got her guard up on that date.
Well, I like the first time is good. Like a good date, and then it gets wonky at the end. But I love it when he tries to
the repeat, and then it's getting manic.
He's all manic.
I just want to adopt kids. Don't you want to adopt kids?
Are any of you kids up for adoption? And then they fall into the snow, and he's like trying to like have that almost kiss moment again, but he's being like all smiley and creepy and weird, and she's just like, that was really funny. Like, Phil, reel it in, bro. Pull it back. Too strong.
Oh, well, yeah. So, do you recommend?
Yeah, I definitely read it, especially if you haven't seen it. And you're a Bill Murray fan.
100%. I think like this is definitely one of those movies that like I was saying that's kind of fading away into obscurity, but it still like is a really, really good movie, and it'll probably stand. One of the things that Danny Rubin also said is like he didn't want there to be anything to like fully like they didn't want there to be any like 90s cultural references in it. He wanted it to kind of feel like it could live in a timeless era.
Yeah, and they definitely pulled that off. Oh, and I gotta say too, just the repeat shots, the consistency in them is really good.
Really, really good.
I was really looking hard for like some
inconsistencies.
Yeah, some fuck ups, and I was like, I mean, I'm sure there's something in there, you know, like, but they did a really good job of making sure that it felt like this infinite loop.
Yeah.
With the extras and everything. Like, it was very enjoyable. And it was like I said in the beginning too. It's a very Bill Murray, not Bill Murray role.
It's definitely like, as a lot of people said, and even like Bill Murray himself, it's like, this movie was the beginning of the more grounded Bill Murray that we got.
Yeah, and he's still being his sarcastic like douche and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, we obviously don't see it for another 10 years till Lost in Translation, but we get a little bit of it through like Rushmore and I think Royal Tenenbaums is even before it as well, but that's just them becoming more dry.
Yeah, so what is that other one, the submarine one?
Life Aquatic, that happened after Lost in Translation.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Life Aquatic, I fucking love that movie.
Just watch Isle of Dogs.
I still need to see that.
It's really good.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's really weird.
But yeah.
Sorry, choked on my spit.
Nice.
I do that a lot.
All right, so the movie's about this arrogant weatherman. I had to. Okay, guys. Yeah, we're wrapping up.
Join us next week. We're going to be doing the lobster.
It'll be Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
It's our Valentine's Day movie, guys.
Yeah. If you have, and I'm sure a lot of people haven't heard of it, definitely look it up. It's called The Lobster, starring Colin Farrell and
I don't know.
I can't remember. I just remember
A lobster.
Yeah, but definitely check it out because it's a weird ass movie.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be a weird ass conversation for our episode.
I would definitely highly recommend watching it before listening to our review.
Yeah, and it's kind of newer too.
Yeah,
in
exactly.
the grand scheme of things. So yeah, so please like, subscribe, tell your friends, all that fun stuff. Happy Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day.
That's what I said.
Did
I put an S in there?
You always put just like the hint of an S. It's like you're saying it like, I think it's supposed to be there, but I'm going to pull it back a little bit. Groundhog's Day.
Happy singular Groundhog Day.
Join us on Patreon if you want early releases. And yeah.
Check out our Instagram. I just put a new mini tape on there a few days ago.
A week ago.
It was a week ago? Oh, it was already a week ago.
Yeah, because this is going to be released next week.
I caught that. I was keeping the illusion. All right. Thank you, everybody.
You've broken it too many times already.
This is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape. This is Tommy.
Nope, I'm turning it off.
Okay, bye.